Hello students, welcome to physics class. Today we discuss the motion of charges through a combined electric and magnetic field and force acting on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. First, let us see this situation. Motion in combined electric and magnetic field. Here we have a uniform magnetic field which is perpendicular to the plane of this board, which is shown by equidistance cross mark. The direction of this magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of this board. And in the same region, with the help of this two charged plate, this is a positively charged plate and this is a negatively charged plate. With the help of this plate, we are arranging a uniform electric field also. The direction of uniform electric field is from positively charged plate to negatively charged plate. So that's the direction of uniform electric field. So now in this region, we have a combined electric field. Both electric and magnetic field is there in this region. They are perpendicular to each other because magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of board and electric field in this diagram is parallel to this plane of this board. So the angle between E and B is what? 90 degree. They are perpendicular, mutually perpendicular field. E and B are perpendicular to each other. Now imagine we have a beam of electron having a variable range of velocity. There are electrons with a variable velocity in this beam. Now we are directing this electron by through this combined field by passing through a very small slit S1. By passing through a very small slit S1, we are making a fine beam of electron. The velocity of all electrons are different. A variable range of velocities are there in this beam. Now this electron is moving through a combined electric and magnetic field. We know that when a charge is moving through an electric field, it experiences a force. What the force experience for the electron? In an electric field we can write as the force is equal to, force in electric field is equal to the magnitude of charge into strength of electric field. When charge is moving through an electric field, the charge experience a electric force. Can be write as the magnitude of charge into strength of electric field, Fe. What is the direction of that force? As it is electron, it will move opposite direction or it experience a force opposite direction of electric field. Here this is the direction of electric field. Once the electron is moving through the electric field, it experience a force opposite direction of electric field. So the electron experience a force towards the positively charged plate. So that is the direction of force due to electric field. Fe is in the upward direction. Now the charge is moving through the magnetic field also. Simultaneously, the charge is moving through a magnetic field also because this is a combined electric and magnetic field. So once the charge is moving through a magnetic field, it experiences a magnetic force. What is the magnetic force? Fm is equal to QV cross B. Q into V cross B. Here, theta, angle between velocity and magnetic field is 90 degree because magnetic field is perpendicular to this plane of board and charge is moving along this plane. So Q V cross B, Q into V cross B or QVB sine theta. Theta is equal to 90 degrees. So the force is equal to QVB. So we can write the charge, the magnitude of charge of electron as E. So we are writing the force is equal to, magnetic force is equal to EVB. What is the direction of that magnetic force? Apply Fleming's left hand rule. So the forefinger in the direction of magnetic field. So the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of board and the electron is moving in this direction. So what is the direction of current? Current just opposite of that one. So this is the direction of current and thumb point in the direction of force acting on that electron. So the force is acting downward. So just opposite direction of the force due to electric field. So that's the direction of magnetic force. So you can see that the electric force and the magnetic force are in opposite direction. Electric force and magnetic force are in opposite directions. So we can see that once the electric force and the magnetic force are equal, the net force acting on the charge is zero. The net force acting on the charge is zero. So we can say if net force acting on a charge is zero, it will continue its path. It's not deflect from its actual path. The charge will move through the actual path. So once the charge is not deflected and come out through the slit S2, then we can write the velocity of such charges will be what? The velocity of such charges will be the force on that electron will be equal to electric force will be equal to magnetic force. Fe is equal to Fm. That's why it is not deflected. Once the charge is come out through the slit S2 by traveling through the same path, it means it's not deflected. No force is acted on that charge. So by the time we can say net force acting on it is zero. Fe is equal to Fm. Fe is equal to Fm. What is electric force? E into E. What is magnetic force? Magnetic force is equal to EVB. EVB. And E can be cancelled. So we can write as V is equal to E by B. V is equal to E by B. So the electrons which come out through the slit S2 having a velocity of V is equal to E by B. All other electrons having other velocity other than this V equal to E by B will be deflected either by magnetic force or electric force. If magnetic force is more, it will be deflected downward, and if electric force is more, it will be deflected upward. And if it is not deflected, such charges having a velocity V is equal to E by B. This arrangement we can call as a velocity selector, because we see that when the beam of electron comes out through the slit S2, it having velocity V equal to E by B. All other electrons are deflected either in the upward or downward. And once the electrons come out through the slit S2, it having a velocity V equal to E by B. What actually we done is we selecting electrons having same velocity or particular velocity. If you are adjusting the value of E and B in such a way that we can select a particular velocity. So we can call it as a velocity selector. Velocity selector. And a velocity selector can be used to select the charged particles of particular velocity out of a beam in which the particles are moving with a different speed. That's the concept of a velocity selector. Now let us see the situation. We have a current carrying conductor of length L and area cross section A. I current is flowing through this conductor in this direction. This conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field of strength B, as shown in this diagram. We know that the electron in this conductor is flowing opposite direction of this current with a very small velocity known as drift velocity. So consider such an electron, one electron. Here we have one electron moving with a velocity Vd opposite direction of current. So now we can say that this electron is moving through a uniform magnetic field of strength B. We know that when a charge is moving through a uniform magnetic field, it experiences a force. The force is given by F is equal to Q into V cross B. The force is equal to F is equal to Q into V cross B. So, what is the force acting on this electron? The force acting on the electron is given by F is equal to charge. The charge of electron is equal to minus E into V cross B. The velocity of electron is Vd, drift velocity, into or cross B. B, the strength of magnetic field. That is F is equal to minus E into Vd cross B. That is the force acting on that electron. What is the direction of that force? Apply Fleming's left hand rule. you know that to apply the Fleming's left hand rule, first we stretch the 3 fingers on left hand in such a way that the forefinger in the direction of magnetic field. Here, this is the direction of magnetic field along z axis, and the middle finger in the direction of current. Here, the electron is moving in this direction, so the current is in this direction. So, this is the direction of current and this is the direction of magnetic field. So, the thumb point the direction of magnetic force. So, this is the direction of thumb in this diagram. This is along x-axis, positive x-axis. So, this electron experience a force on positive x-axis. So, the direction of force is along x-axis. It experiences a force along positive x-axis. That's the case of a single electron. But you know that when current is flowing through this conductor, all the electrons are flowing opposite direction of the current with a very small velocity. Now let us calculate how many electrons are there in this conductor. For that, we know the number density of electron in this conductor. The number density means number of electrons per unit volume. Say it is n, small letter n, is the number density of electron in this conductor. So to calculate the total number of electron in this conductor, you just multiply by volume of the conductor into number density of electron, number of electrons per unit volume. That is the number density. So the total number of electron in this conductor is n into Al, small letter n into Al, number density into volume of the conductor. So that's the total number of electron. All electrons are moving in same direction. The direction of magnetic field is also same. So we can say all electron will experience force in the same direction. Each and every electron will experience the force in same direction. That is along positive x-axis because the direction of velocity is same, magnetic field is same. So all electron, this much electron, n number of electrons will experience a force in same direction. So calculate the total number of electron, that's equal to n into Al, and so the total force on electrons, all electrons, or otherwise we can better to say that the force on this conductor, because all electrons experience this much force, the conductor itself experience that force. So what is the total force acting on this conductor is equal to n into F, the number into force on a single electron. That is equal to, number is equal to NaL into force on a single electron is minus E Vd cross B. Okay, now the F is equal to, total force F is equal to, we are rearranging like this way, E into, we are taking this E outside, E into N into A, and we are keeping L inside this bracket. And so L into Vd cross B. We are rearranging this equation like this. E N A into minus L into Vd cross B. Now we are using this vector identity like this way. We know that the minus L into vector Vd is equal to Vd into vector L. That's a vector identity. The identity of vector in vector algebra. Using that identity, we are writing F is equal to ENA into, we are changing like this, Vd cross L cross B, Vd into L cross B. We are changing like this way, Vd into L cross B. We are using this concept, that is minus L into Vd, vector Vd is equal to Vd into vector L. Here we know that L and Vd are vectors because the direction of L is along the direction of current. So we can use this vector identity. Here Vd and L are vector quantity because the L is taken a direction along the direction of current. Okay, so L and Vd is opposite vectors. L and Vd are opposite vectors. L, the direction of L is this, the direction of L. The direction of Vd is this one. They are opposite in direction. So we can write minus L into Vd is equal to Vd into L. Now F is equal to, vector F is equal to, we are taking this Vd outside, ENA into Vd into, inside the bracket we keeping L cross B. And what is this term? ENA into VD. That's the expression for the current through this conductor in terms of drift velocity. We derived in the current electricity. In the chapter current electricity, we know that I is equal to NEA into drift velocity. This equation. I is equal to NEA into drift velocity. So this is the magnitude of current flowing through this conductor. So instead of this term, we can write I into L cross B. That's the force on all electron, or otherwise better you can say that the force on this conductor, because if all electron experience the force, the conductor itself experience the force. What is the direction of that force? Along positive x-axis. So F is equal to I into L cross B. I into L cross B. That is, the force is in the direction of L cross B. Okay, what the direction of L? In the direction of current. L is considered as a vector because it have a direction that is in the direction of current. B, in the situation, this is the direction of B. So to find the direction of force acting on this conductor, again we are supposed to use the same law, the Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. To find the direction of magnitude of force acting on a current carrying conductor, we can apply Fleming's left hand rule. To apply Fleming's left hand rule, the first stretch the first three fingers of the left hand mutually perpendicular to each other. Now point the forefinger in the direction of magnetic field and the middle finger in the direction of length, because length have a direction that is in the direction of current, and now the thumb indicate the direction of force. So in this situation, the force is acting in the direction of thumb, that is along positive x-axis. So generally we can say all current carrying conductor experience a force in a uniform magnetic field, and the direction of force can be predicted by using Fleming's left hand rule. Now the angle between B and length, the angle between the B and length will decide the magnitude of force. The magnitude of force depends on the angle, because you know that we can rewrite like this way: F is equal to if theta is the angle between L and B, we can write the equation like this: F is equal to BIL sin theta. If theta is the angle between the L and B, or I and B, both are same actually, L and B, we can write F is equal to BIL sin theta. BIL sin theta. Magnetic field into current into length into sine of angle between B and I, or B and L. Now see some special cases. Suppose we have a uniform magnetic field like this way. This is a uniform magnetic field and this is our conductor. And this is the direction of current I. It means B and I are parallel. B and I are parallel, or B and L are parallel. So what is the magnitude of force? The magnitude of force F is equal to BIL sine 0. Sine 0 is equal to 0. So force is equal to 0. That is, if the conductor is parallel to the magnetic field, no force is acting on the conductor. If the conductor is parallel to the magnetic field, no force is acting on that conductor. Now, if the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, like this is the conductor which is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field. So, what is the force acting? Force is equal to BIL sine 90. Sine 90 is equal to 1. So, the maximum force is acting on the conductor, that's equal to BIL. If the conductor is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field, the force acting on the conductor is maximum, that's equal to BIL. So, however, we can say when you are placing a conductor parallel to the magnetic field, it does not experience a force. If it is perpendicular to the magnetic field, the force acting on it is maximum. In all other angle, it experiences some force, and the magnitude of force is given by BIL sin theta. So, all current carrying conductor experience a force in a uniform magnetic field, and the force can be, the magnitude of force is given by BIL sin theta, or the force is equal to I into L cross B, and the direction of force can be predicted by Fleming's left hand rule. That's all today. Thank you.